All right, are you all ready to start? Thanks for coming. Bailey and Buddy are going to be our test subjects. So our first speaker is JT Clough. She's been in business for herself for 36 years, has completed 9 Ironman races. It's amazing. For the last 24 years, she has worked with dogs and their people in a way that's a little different than you might expect. While she does work privately with a select number of clients here locally, what looks like hands-on training on the surface goes deeper. She's paying attention to what the dog is actually responding to beneath the behavior before anything is said or done. Her work crosses into presence, energy, and the patterns we carry that show up in ways we don't always recognize. She's also been writing on Substack and sharing more through a private podcast where she explores the connection between people and their dogs in a way that tends to make things click fast. So tonight she's going to open up a perspective that can change how you see your dog and yourself. So welcome, JT Clough. All right, thanks for having me here. I'm excited to do this. It's going to be fun. All right, so I am going to start off with how dogs think and learn. So that's the title, is understanding the mind that your dog actually has. So I'm going to do a combination of things here. One is teach you one of my signature things that I teach everybody when they come to me and they need help with their dog, and that is how they think and learn. They think and learn differently than we do, and we tend to try to teach them like they are a child, or like they can think the way that we do. So, what's in this presentation is how your dog actually thinks, why behavior feels confusing, the missing piece, which is your internal state, and breaking the pattern. And what I want you to get out of this is how your dog actually learns, why behavior feels confusing, and how learning really happens, and how your internal state affects your dog. Up higher. That's awesome. Anyway, all right. So, what your dog picks up on. So your dog is picking up on all the things that's going on with you, right? And it can be happiness, it can be tension, it can be anxiety, it can be all the things that are going on inside of you. They are picking up way before you do. They do that through basically frequency. And one of the reasons why they are reacting is because you're reacting to things that you aren't even aware that you're reacting to. And the example I'm going to use is that when you train a seizure dog, they can pick up on a seizure 45 minutes before it happens. That is, for a person, it's great. I actually have gotten to see this in person. Have you seen this? Yeah, it's super cool, isn't it?
Cool, yeah.
The reason they end up with this dog is because they typically have seizures and they're going along doing whatever they're doing, and all of a sudden, boom, they're down, they have a seizure. Right? The dog can pick that up 45 minutes before it happens and alert them, and so now they can prepare and not be like, riding a bike and going down or whatever, right? But that fact alone tells you how much they are picking up. Like, what's going on with you, they are picking up, and they're picking it up way before it really happens. So sometimes a reaction is happening, and it's something that's going on with you, that's been going on with you, and you're not even naming it yourself, right? The dog's just picking it up.
So in that, I just want to say, dogs are your number one preventative medicine.
They are.
When you learn this, 110%. I'm a holistic vet, and I know this, and
Yes.
this is what I teach my clients.
Yeah. Makes my heart happy.
Yes.
Okay. So I have 4 core concepts here. One is how your dog processes information, why behavior feels confusing and unpredictable a lot of times, how learning really happens in the canine brain, dog brain. That's where animals, but we're focusing on dogs tonight. And how your internal state directly affects your dog's behavior.
have two different operating systems completely. This is where we kind of get mixed up. We try to make our dogs our kids, and so for some of us they are. Like, my dog is like my family, right? So that's why you kind of get mixed up in trying to teach them as though they are a kid, even though they aren't. So we have two different operating systems. Humans can reason, we have reflection, and we can make decisions, right? Dogs, they have association, they have repetition, and they are reacting or operating in their environment. And that is how they learn versus how we learn. All right, so let's see, I'm gonna pick somebody here.
It's the dog. It's the dog on the TV.
So fun. They've got visual, right? They have visual. They can pick up, right?
Buddy.
There's a dog in my house.
Every time we watch TV.
Really?
But the other dog pictures they didn't.
He didn't see it. He stayed in the other room.
And he's also closer right now, right?
But,
So,
buddy.
all right. So,
You're okay.
it's because you work in this area. I'm gonna pick you. No. Perfect. Exactly what I wanted you to say. Okay. So I'm gonna go into the brain of the dog and how they think. Okay. No. Okay. When I said that to her, she automatically went into the files of her brain and started rummaging through them. What does she mean now? What does she want me to do? Am I supposed to say something? Am I supposed to think something? Get up? What am I doing wrong? Right? We're trained that way from our world nowadays, right? What am I doing wrong? Right, hold on. Reasoning, right? So, think of this. A dog, if you look at our foreheads, we have a prefrontal cortex. If you look at a dog's head, it's not that, right? The brain is made up differently. So the brain of a dog is 10% the prefrontal cortex. That's the space it takes up. It's also the capacity they have to use it. Okay? A human, it takes up 30%, which is why we have taller foreheads, because we actually logic. So we actually logic. So that is where the difference is of how dogs think and learn. You went to immediate logic. If I say no, I mean
There's a
anything.
sneeze
Right?
response.
So they're not going to sit there in that moment and go, I wonder what she would like me to do. What am I doing wrong? They're not going through those files at all because they don't have logic. So this is just some kind of technical stuff in that our brains, they have executive function, right? They plan, reason, decision make. They have a working memory, and they have impulse control and attention, which a lot of times in the dog training world, we talk a lot about impulse control, right? And the reason we do is because dogs don't come with impulse control automatically. They have to, you have to show them what that is. We can evaluate past outcomes, inhibit instinctive reactions, and adapt to behavior. So what does that mean? We do think of things that are in the past and make a different decision now. Dogs don't. They're very much right here in the present moment. And we have abstract thinking. So we can consider consequences, social rules, long-term goals, and self-reflection. A little bit of a caveat, some dogs, depending upon training methods, do get enough repetition that they do understand consequence, but typically they do not come thinking, if I do this, then this is going to happen. They don't have that ability. So they're learning much different than we do. So dogs have immediate learning. They excel at what just happened and the immediate consequence of the learning. Or not necessarily consequence, it can be consequence, but they excel in that exact moment with what they're doing. They're not thinking in the and they're not thinking in the future. So back when I got into this stuff, see, you're like,
Because I also used to work with special needs. I was a behavior interventionist
Okay.
for many years. I know her.
Her work's
She's
incredible.
amazing, yeah.
Her work's
Yeah,
incredible.
absolutely.
So has anybody else heard of Temple Grandin? Of course you would, yes. So she did amazing work. She, one of her most popular books, or the ones that most people have heard about, is Thinking in Pictures. And she had autism, and she did incredible things. She was brilliant. But what came out of it was that she, because of the way she thought and she worked with animals, she figured out that they actually learn and think in pictures. Everything's a picture. Which is much different than our logic. So autistic people typically don't logic, right? They have a picture that keeps running in their head, and it will pop up again and again and again until you are able to put another picture there and give it a name. So dogs are autistic. they pretty much are autistic, really. Like that's, it's one of those things. However, autism is brilliance, so there's also that. So their experiences are stored visually and emotionally. They don't use words for explanations. The moment becomes the meaning, and behavior defines the word. Which I'm going to get to in a second here. So word plus behavior equals picture. Right? Repetition strengthens the picture, timing determines meaning, and associations drive behavior. So here's where my dog's head got cut off. Anyway, here's where it can be frustrating, right? You repeat, you picture what you do, and they're still doing the same thing, right? So I'm going to give you an example story. We got our little dog, Zoe, and Zoe has a habit of jumping. And what do we do when Zoe jumps? We say, no, Zoe, get down. Right? No, Zoe, get down. Zoe comes back, jumps again. No, Zoe, get down. Zoe comes walking through the door. She goes running, jumps on there. You're like, no, Zoe, get down. You said that to her how many times in a row? No, Zoe, get down. Well, if she had a grasp on the human, or the English language, and she could talk, and she had a little friend come over, and she wanted to show off to the friend. How many of you have little kids that like want to show off what they know? Okay, so her little friend Luca comes over, and she's like, "Hey, Luca, check it out. Look what I know. This is no, Zoe, get down." And she runs and jumps. Right? What do we teach that dog? We are in our head teaching this dog no. So we're doing it a lot, right? A lot of times with dogs, with all of these behaviors, separation anxiety, jumping, barking, pulling on the leash, destructive behavior, reactivity, we're saying no, it's okay, we're naming all of these things, and all we're doing is naming that thing, we're not showing them what to do. Okay? This I just put in here just because everybody here has a dog, and they have, I don't know if everybody does, but understands what's going on with dogs a lot. And right now I see a real change in what is going on with dogs from when I started 24 years ago. When I started 24 years ago, my number one thing was not separation anxiety. And it was not like anxiety, really, at all. There was other things. They pulled, they jumped, they ran away, they did all kinds of stuff, but that was not the thing. So our world is changing, and it's because of our internal, the way that we're looking at the world a lot, the way that the world's being told to us to look at. Everything is coming at us from a fear standpoint. If you turn on the media, anywhere in the media, it is a fear standpoint, okay? So is there any wonder that on this study of 43,000 dogs, that 85.9% of them came up with separation and attachment behaviors? Ooh, this is like 55.6% have reactive 13,700 dogs, 72.5% of them had some of these behaviors. So, I put this in there just because a lot of times you come and you are blaming yourself, but you don't know why, right? And it's frustrating, you feel like you're doing something wrong. You're not really doing anything wrong, you just don't know how they learn, and you don't realize the energy that you're putting out to them, that they're picking up and reflecting back to you all the time. And it is quite common these days. So, why doesn't no work? Well, you saw exactly why no doesn't work. You use the same word over and over and over again. So no becomes everything. And there's other things that you do too. You probably are saying quiet, or drop it, or leave it, or it's okay. And you keep naming it in the moment that they're doing it. So there's no clear direction for them. They just keep doing it, and you keep naming it. And they think they're right, and we think they should somehow pick up after the 9,751st time. Aha, that's what she meant. They don't. So they repeat what they know. Okay, that was just kind of a visual. No, the dog is like, they don't know what that means. All right, so, I took that slide out. Okay. So, I'm just going to go through a little example of that whole story that I told about the dog jumping up. What would I do instead? This is a practical thing for you to be able to use. How do I want my dog to greet me? Probably come up and sit, right? It would be fine if they came up and just stood there, but because we've got a dog that's jumping up, I have to direct the behavior. I got to teach them what that picture is. So I got to change the picture. Their picture right now is see me, run, jump, right? So I'm going to take up, dog comes, jumps up. I'm going to take out all the no, get down. I'm going to stop naming this action that they've done, that they're really good at actually. I'm not even going to pay attention to that, and I'm going to go straight to sit. I may need to help them into a sit. I may need to use a treat. We're not going to get into training methods right now, but you're going to help them into a sit, and you're going to name it sit, right? So this no, Zoe, jump, get down, goes away, and we actually teach them what to do. Dogs learn by association and repetition. So if that is true, if I do that consistently, I put them in a sit, put them in a sit, put them in a sit, pretty soon their picture of person, how do I greet this person? Sit. They start leaving that old habit because you've named a new one, and when that word comes up, that action happens. Make sense? No? So, I kind of went through this already, that it really is a chain reaction. We just keep repeating the same thing, they keep doing the same thing. We're not showing them what to do. So back to the idea of, So back to the idea of getting them to focus on something else, or focus on a new way to learn, right? We're going to teach them what action goes with what word, all right? So you're going to stop focusing on stopping the behavior, and you're going to start teaching them what to do. And that was the whole idea of like teaching them to sit, okay? Again, you want to change that picture and name what you want them to do. So in the beginning, if you had a dog that was their habit, you would have to help them into it. So that's the before. The after part is this. They keep doing it, they keep doing it. So the after is, or that's the after, right? They've already done it. So the before is, once they start getting that, you want to name it as they start coming up to you. Picture they see you sit, they sit before they jump on you, right? So now I have changed how they think about what action, and no Zoe, get down, has gone completely away, both for you and for the dog. Make sense? Yeah? one part of the picture. Okay? That is the practical, this is what I do, this is the action part of what I do. The other big part of it is what I opened up with, and that is dogs pick up on emotion. They pick up on what's going on with you. They pick up on all kinds of things way before you even realize it. So, that being said, if you are doing these things with them, like if all of you guys just stopped tonight going, no, Joe, Zoe, don't jump up, or whatever it is that your dog does, and you started teaching them what you wanted them to do, there can be some frustration in the fact that, this is where it's hard for trainers, is that the dog still is struggling with it.
Yeah.
They still struggle with it. Okay. And then you feel like, this isn't working. Like, okay, let me get another YouTube video. Like, there's gotta be some other way, right? You hire a trainer, you send them this, you do that, they're still not doing it. Well, this is the key piece, and that is, they literally are reacting to what's going on with you.
But how do you unreinforce it when they're walking, they would turn into a kite, and then you're terrified, and you saw it coming to these other hackles, and you try to calm, and you're like, no, you need to sit and be calm, and then it's like a whole thing, and it's just like a reinforcement, like it's, I mean, I'm just guessing about an experience somebody
Asking for a friend. Asking for a friend. Yeah. For sure. Okay, that's perfect. Actually, that's a perfect, thank you
Sure.
for that.
I'll tell my friend.
Okay. Okay, they're reacting to your emotional state. Well, I heard you say something earlier when you came in about your dog goes with somebody else and they act in an entirely different way. I think
Yes,
that was
and very different, separate walks without my other dog, like individual walks. That's a lot of walking.
It is,
Yeah.
but we'll get to that part.
Yeah.
Well, we won't get to that here, but
Yeah, no.
but I just want to, this is the point that I wanted to make right here, is you're working yourself up because it's been a habit for you as well. So you're automatically going into that thing that you do because you're worried about it. Most people who have that issue, even though I'm telling them certain things to do, they are literally, your dog's here, a dog's coming at them, and what are you doing? Every single time, they're looking at the dog and freaking out. Like, and your dog's just going off. You see the dog, you start freaking out. Dog's going off. They know.
They're pulling on the leash.
They're pulling on the leash. Okay, now, danger, 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 right? And you're going like this, and they're going, there is a fucking problem here. I'm just right?
But even it's like when you put yourself in check, it's like it's already now been how long, you know what I mean? Like even you putting yourself in check, you're now also in a state of yourself
Yes,
putting
yes.
yourself in check. And you're
And I have to go off script here for 1 second, because one of the things you said that I think is really important is the fact that you said, oh, I'm gonna like make them sit here. How do I make them sit in this state? Have you ever been walking down the trail and ever in your life and saw a rattlesnake?
Yep.
Okay. If I told you, sit, calm down, there's no problem here, just chill the fuck out right now, the snake is here. Calm down. You're like, oh, okay.
That's all
No
about now.
problem. Right? Like, no. Okay, so that's part of, uh-oh, we lost our thingy here. No, we're back. Okay, so that's part of it, is you are putting yourself and your dog in a state of like, you cannot calm down. And so it's been a thing that's been taught forever. The dog is sitting there freaking out, you're loading the dog up. It's an emotional thing. There's no way that dog's calming down because you're not calming down. You just, no. They're not gonna calm down, right? So in that case, and again, this is off script a little bit, movement. You gotta move your mind, you gotta move your soul, you gotta move your dog, you gotta be like, I'm okay, everything is okay. And it will be, you have to move from your thought process because you're recreating the thought process over and over and over again. Does anybody here know who Joe Dispenza is. I'm sure this crowd is very well aware of Joe Dispenza. Okay, break the habit of being yourself. That is the lesson with your dog as well. You've got to break the habit of being yourself because your dog is reacting probably because you react to other things like that and you don't realize it. So box done. Okay.
So we need to be trained, so this way our dogs will be trained.
Yeah, and it really
Trained
is. It comes from, and that's what I say, like, the practical of how they think and learn, when people get that, that's usually a light bulb to them. Oh, I didn't think of it that way. So they have a tool to use. But if you don't deal with the emotional response, your emotional response, you can do that all you want, and your dog's still going to react. Right?
But they still feel your emotional response. Even if you're telling yourself, even if you're like, okay, ease up on reins, let this go, can they still feel that?
Can they step
Like if you're trying to like, not do the same pattern yourself, right? You're like, okay, I'm self-correcting, I'm working through this. But can't they sense that too?
They can, but would you rather have them sense that than like,
True.
oh my God, this is a real problem.
Yeah.
Like I'm freaking out and I don't want to be here and this is awful and how am I gonna, like,
Yeah.
why is this happening again? Like all of that is going through your head.
Yeah.
It goes to them.
Yep.
So really when you think about the idea of breaking the habit of being yourself, what is the thing that he teaches in there? It's that we are running these programs from our past over and over and over and over and over again. We brought them into our present. You're not present. So that's the practice. That's, right? It's also finding out who you are. I sometimes, not sometimes, I bring an element of human design into it, often, because when you really understand how you make decisions, how you react to things, how you work a little bit better, oftentimes you will also find through understanding that you're doing things because you're expected to do things, but that's not how you really are. So you can't even calm down, right? And usually that shadow that you have, because most of the time that will come up as well, when you start learning about how yourself and how you handle things, that shadow, the thing that you have the hardest time with, is the thing that your dog is showing you. So, there's that. Okay.
To the next level.
What's that?
It's a video game analogy.
Oh, you're right. No, you're right. Like, okay, oh, I made that level. I'm gonna go to the next level. The next level, and then, oh, didn't make the next level, I've knocked down this one. I gotta keep going, and the more you do it, the easier it will get to the next level. Yeah. Dogs mirror everything. They mirror this is for what you guys do with the essential oils and things like that. They are mirroring things. They are mirroring illnesses. They are, like, I had a horrible neck problem. This is a long story, but anyway, and my dog ended up with it. I was in Hawaii at the time. I had to fly her to get an MRI. Like, it was cray. And somehow in my head, even with the knowledge I had, this is years ago though, I didn't realize we had the same problem. And it's happened over and over and over and over again. So, people who have high cortisol, they've run tests on dogs. The dog has high cortisol. That is also a new thing. I believe. I started back in this a long time ago when this wasn't such an issue. But literally, dog can have high cortisol because you have high cortisol. Dog can have a high heart rate because you have a high heart rate. Obviously, when you're stressed, your dog is stressed. So they're picking all of that stuff up. So, it sounds very, almost ridiculous to say, but when you regulate yourself, your dog is going to regulate. That's the other piece to it. So what can dogs detect? It goes a little bit along the line of, we talked about the seizures, all the things that they can pick up, but they literally can, you have a chemical change that happens in your body as well. Like, that feeling, that anxiety, or when your dog starts going off and you're like, oh, you have that feeling that goes through you, that also creates a scent. So they're picking up on that scent too, and they're reacting to that. So it all really comes from an internal place. So yeah, this is all what we just talked about. You can, like, your dog is just going to pick up exactly what you are putting out, and they're going to be reacting the same. And oftentimes, we are so caught up in trying to be okay. This is the other piece to it. We are so caught up in trying to be okay. We have been taught to have a filter. We have been taught to wear a mask. We have been taught to act like everything is okay. Dogs don't have a filter. No one taught them that. No one taught them that they're not supposed to react in a certain way. And so, they, oftentimes when they're showing us this behavior, we have this stuff going on within us. And I'm talking about more, not on the lines where they're just going off on the trail, but like when you're home with them, when things seem to be a little bit calmer and they have some behavior, it most likely is because something is repeating within you, and you don't realize it, so much so because you have covered it up for so long, because it's either not appropriate for you to say it out loud, or you can't because the relationship doesn't work within your home, or whatever it is, your work, you can't, like we are putting filters on all the time, masks on all the time. Dogs don't have that mask. So I would challenge you to think about the behavior your dog is showing you. What is it that you're holding in yourself that is mirroring that? And that oftentimes can help you help them.
And if you have more than one dog, they're masking different parts of
They
you.
are. They are.
110%, you can name them all.
So again, you get into, there's a pattern loop there. That's what we were just talking about. There's a pattern loop that you just keep doing over and over and over and over again. But you think you're doing something about it, and then it gets frustrating because nothing is changing. It's because that loop, breaking the habit of being yourself, bringing yourself back to being calm. Also really sitting with yourself and recognizing, why is it that this keeps happening? What is the actual feeling? Because we cover that feeling up a lot. Instead, we go to the mechanics of, please stop doing that, quiet, I don't want you to do that anymore, right? Instead of actually going internal and figuring out why we want them to stop, or what we're doing over and over and over again that we want to stop, but we're not stopping it because we haven't actually named it. So there's that. I think this is kind of a perfect picture of that whole situation of the repeating thing. Oftentimes, even when you get your dog to do what you want them to do, or you have more of a grasp on that, when you got all this stuff going around in your head, whether it's anxiety or fear or lack or feeling like you're just not enough or feeling like things aren't just right or whatever it is, all of that going around in your head is coming out in the dog. So that's where it can really feel frustrating, where some people want to give up because they've done all this stuff with their dog and the dog doesn't seem like they're responding. You know the things, and that's the frustrating thing, is it's still going around in your head. So it really comes down to kind of an internal job. That's that. I just like that picture and those sunglasses. Anyway, okay, so, and this is one of the things I do. I write a Substack called Your Dog Knows. I have a private podcast that I'm talking a little bit more about that. But oftentimes your dog already knows. Your dog already knows what is going on with you. You just don't realize that they know what's going on with you because they are reflecting your behavior. And so that is what I would like you to really sit with about your dog. What does your dog know about you? Because your dog's kind of like, you want to go down like a spiritual line, like divine source, God, wherever you want to go with that. You can't hide from that. Like you can't put something on so that they don't see what's going on with you. Your dog is exactly the same. They know you. They know you really, really well, but you're feeding one another through that. So your dog does know you, and you know your dog. And that is where you can get the greatest lesson ever from your dog. And I'm gonna tell you mine, and then I'm gonna challenge you all within your own minds to come up with what your biggest lesson is from your dog. Your favorite dog, your current dog, whatever dog. Okay, so, I had a heart dog. Does anybody here know what heart dog means? So oftentimes, especially when you've had, a lifetime of dogs, you have one dog that sticks out above all the others. Like you had a thing with them. It's not that you don't love your other dogs. It's not that you don't have a special thing with your other dogs, but you have this one dog that really spoke to you. That is just, you can't replace it. I oftentimes have gotten that through the years of training where people are disappointed when they get the next dog because it's not like the one that they loved so much. And they can't make it that dog. But anyway, that is what a heart dog is. So my heart dog was a Weimaraner. She lived for 14 and a half years. I got her when I very first started training. I got her as a demo dog, and I had to get her as a demo dog because my dog at the time was a Belgian Malinois that would bite you if I told him to. He could find drugs and all kinds of stuff. So I'm trying to demo people like, this is what you can do with their dog, and they're like, is he gonna bite me? And I'm like, yeah, if I tell him to. And they're like, oh, no, yeah. Not good for business, just saying. So I got my Weimaraner, and I got her because I wanted her to be this beautiful little thing that would be pet and like let people, be around her, and she was just going to be the social little butterfly. Well, sure enough, she went to work with me. She did all the things, and she was very, very responsive to what I wanted her to do. She did all kinds of stuff. But when I would have her sit or whatever, and people were like, oh, she's so cute, and they want to pet her, she would back up. She would sit down. She would lay down. She'd cross her paws and look at them like, don't touch me. Like, no, you're in my space. That was one of my first lessons, is that she was mirroring who I was. And what I had to realize is that people didn't realize that. When I would let people in too quickly, I would give away stuff. Emotionally, this is relationship-wise. Not in teaching. I love teaching. I love giving that away. But when I let people come in and take from me too quickly, it's not a good thing. And she was telling me, it's really okay for you to understand who you want to let in. You need to trust them first. I'm taking my space. She taught me that. So that was one of the lessons. The bigger lesson, however, was this. I also told her every day of her life, I love you more than anything in the world. And I meant it. Like every I love you more than anything in the world. Like it was just a thing. Her and I went through a lot in 14 and a half years. One of the things, side note, I ended up in a relationship with a narcissist who took everything from me, and she was there, and she lived all of that with me. She had some anxiety, imagine that. I don't know where she picked that up from. But all through it all, I love you more than anything in the world, every single day of her life. And I did all kinds of things to manage that, to help her. Like, I would do tons of stuff for her, anything for her. Well, at 14 and a half years old, she ended up getting a seizure. She had a tumor, it was pushing on her brain. So I knew this was coming, and the night that I knew I was going to need to let her go, I had managed them, and they started getting worse and worse. So that night, I knew I was going to have to let her go. I have a home vet who knew, and she was going to come in the morning. But in the middle of that night, she's sleeping with me, which she did every night. Yes, I did tell people in my past not to sleep with your dog. I slept with her every day in her life. So I don't have a problem with that. Anyway, so she was having seizures, and one of those seizures in the middle of the night, she sat up, she looked at me, she put her head over my shoulder, she looked at me again, and she divinely gave me a message that was sent for me. And the message was this: you told me every day of your life, every day of my life, that you love me more than anything in the world. And in all of this time, you have never told yourself that. So I have to go now. And I'm gonna be here for you. I'm gonna be your I'm gonna be watching over you. But my message for you is this. You need to tell yourself you love yourself more than anything in the world every single day of your life. So my challenge to you guys is this. What message is your dog trying to tell you? And that is it. So if you want more from me, you can subscribe to my Substack, which is called Your Dog Knows. You can listen to my private podcast, which is also called Your Dog Knows. And then I work privately with people in the area.
Where do you get your
I also-
podcast?
Pardon me?
Where can you get your podcast?
You'll get it in the
Yeah.
text follow-up tomorrow.
There's a QR code. So, I have some kind of fun little cards here that I made, where I do talk about the mirror match. I call it the guardian, barking reactivity, always on alert. Your mirrors, you're holding your stress, boundaries you haven't voiced. So I have a bunch of those, so those are kind of fun. But I think that my time is done here.
Well, you have like 10 minutes for questions and then Kristen's up for
Okay.
the rest of the time. So I have a question.
Okay.
So both our dogs are rescue dogs. As you saw, he barks at dogs on the TV. He's been like that since we got him. So is that me or is that him? And how can we stop that?
Well, it's probably both of you,
Okay.
in a way, right?
Uh-huh.
Barking can mean lots of different things. Sometimes, and it's not the same for everybody. It's where you, we'll have this pretty picture up here again. So oftentimes barking can be a sign of you not feeling heard a lot. You talk and talk and talk, but you're not being heard. And so your dog is living that out with you. Your dog, look at your dog.
He's smiling. I know. He smiles.
Yes.
Are you
He's like,
talking
yeah,
for me?
I think that's it. So those are those things. And I invite you to think about the things that, like, where on your communication are you in that journey in your life?
Alright.
Maybe you're on the opposite end of it. Maybe you like talk, and you're like, you realize people are like, no, right? I mean, we all have our things,
Yeah.
right? And they're blind spots. A lot of times they are blind spots.
Mm-hmm.
So I invite you to think about those kinds of things. And then on the practical end of it is, like, literally you have to be able to interrupt the behavior. And there's lots of different ways to do that.
Mhm.
I don't know if it's he, she,
He. Mhm.
is food motivated, whatever. I teach, no, not so much. Okay. So some of it's finding a thing that drives them and redirecting them to it.
Mhm.
Yeah. Also, dogs are not good at multitasking. So sometimes it can be the simplest thing. Like if you can get them to sit, you interrupt it with sitting, do not, no barking, quiet, go, there's barking. They're like, yeah, I got it. Oh. If I get them to do something else, sit
Mhm.
here. Those kinds of things, you can
Okay.
break that. But this a combination of both things. Find out why in
Uh-huh.
your mind this is going on from something internal in yourself.
Okay.
How about, so my two is food aggression and separation anxiety. What is that saying about me
Mm.
that's reflected? that
Well,
causes it?
honey, this is gonna take a long
I told you, you gotta train the humans.
So, you said separation anxiety and
Food aggression.
food aggression.
Is it that just loving food so much that?
There's lots of things that could be wrapped up in that.
Okay.
The separation anxiety oftentimes is, I'm gonna give you an example that doesn't seem like it matches, but it does, okay? Sometimes we do stuff that we don't realize we do to feed our own fears. So separation anxiety is like, I don't want to be left alone. I'm fearful that I'm gonna be alone, or even if you live I'm not really alone, but if you have that fear of abandonment, those kinds of things, sometimes you will build that in your dog, so it's like, I can't leave this dog. And you build it up so much that the dog you can't leave the dog, but you've created it. Okay, an example that isn't dog related, but it's the same thing, is this. Sometimes people who they're fearful of other people, they're introverts, they don't want to go out anywhere, or whatever. They don't want people to get close to them. They will do things like leave their house in a complete mess. They'll just start setting things around, why? Because then they're not gonna invite anybody over. They don't want anybody in their house. They're setting their life up so nobody can get near them, right? You're setting your life up so that you can't go out and do the things you wanna do because you're fearful of the separation.
That makes sense, because he's blind and I was always afraid of leaving him alone, so that makes a lot of sense.
So, anybody else?
The dog reactivity on the leash thing. So I have been more aware that I need to chill out, because I used to be just like constantly like, oh my god, where's the dog? They're gonna freak the fuck out, and it's gonna be awful, because like literally in the neighborhood, people will see us walking and they'll turn around with their dogs because they know that my dogs are not nice. So I do my best to, in my head, be like, it's okay. It's a friendly dog. It's nice. Bailey, the other one, is usually the instigator, and then he'll follow up. And then the next thing I know, they're like, all tangled up. So I have treats, and before they even, as soon as they see the dog, I'll have them turn to me, I'll feed them the treats, I'll tell them quiet, calm. In my head, I'm saying quiet and calm. Half the time it works, half the time it doesn't, but.
Okay. There's a certain amount of frequency and energy coming from you even when you're doing that is about the other person.
Okay.
It is about the other person going, they think my dogs are horrible, therefore they think I'm horrible. I'm embarrassed, this sucks, I'm really not that bad, I'm a good dog mom, fuck those bitches over there. Like this, and they don't know what I have to deal with. Like, you are like literally worried about what they're thinking, and
Yeah.
you're not, and you don't operate like that. You are a strong woman who does things well, who takes care of all the stuff. But we have a society where that happens to us all the time, and so that energy is coming through, and it just winds the dogs up, and it winds the dogs up. So a lot of times it is coming from a place of just how many times have you seen, the dog will go off, you're the end of the dog, right? And you're like, you see other people do this. Not that you do it because you're trying to manage the dog, right? But how many other people have you seen that had the dog go off? You're gonna love this, right? And they're like, oh, he never does this, I'm sorry. He just doesn't ever do that. It must be, I'm sorry. He doesn't do it, and the dog's going off. It's like, oh my God, woman, I have walked this trail for 10 fucking years, and every day this dog comes by, and you say that to me, you're out of your mind. Like
Yeah.
they do, right?
Actually,
But it's not bad, because it's what we're doing to protect ourselves. They don't, yeah.
So there's a guy in my neighborhood, and he's got two really snarly, angry dogs. I've got two big labs. One's pretty chillax, and the other one's the one I mentioned about my friend. So I don't know this. So one day, this guy's dogs always are barking, and then one day I'm with my mellow dog in the morning, and I'm usually like calm as can be, and I don't have those feelings that I might share with Carol a little bit. And he lets the dog, he's like water skiing, like the dog is like, I'm gonna kill you, and he's letting it like water ski. Oh, this is great, and literally the dog jumps on Milo, like tries to kind of like get after him, and I was like, hey, could you get your dog off my dog? I felt like I handled it okay, and he just kept letting it happen. And then like I didn't have any words, so I was like, hand gesture, go. So this is what sets the tone. So now, every time I see the guy, and he thinks, I don't know what he thinks. I'm like, I don't even know what to do. And then that's with my calm dog. I'm so scared of seeing this complete moron water ski with his angry dog that's like attacked my good dog. My other dog, it will be bad. It will be blood. So I'm literally walking around like oh my god, I'm gonna save this guy. And I don't have time. And I think he walks between 8:45 and 9:15. So as long as I go before him or after that, I feel psycho. But like justifiably, because like I don't want
No,
there to
it's
be conflict.
justifiable, and that is the problem that we've got going on, and it's really difficult to solve, because we have so many people who are just brain dead, walking around, doing this stuff with their dog, and like, it's out of your control,
Yeah.
because they're doing this stuff.
And so that's the feeling, right? The energy that out of control. Yeah.
Just one last question. At what age will your dog like sort of? Because I don't think my puppy is at all in tune with me. Like, at what age does that?
No, she's 9.
Okay,
She's
she
allowed
won 9.
No, she's literally just turned 1 2 weeks ago. And
Did you say she's a What? lab?
she's a lab.
It'll be till she's
Oh, I love
2.
labs. I had a lab named
Okay.
Emmy. I loved her so much.
Okay.
Emmy Sue, I love you. That's what I said to her today. Emmy Sue, I love you. Yeah, she was a yellow lab. I loved her. But at what point? They start when they're very little. Very little. Yes, so dogs have, not to go technical into the dog thing right now because it'll take too long, but they have very strong impressionable stages when they're younger. And so oftentimes when we go to the autism thing, they think and learn in pictures, sometimes a dog will be fearful of something because something happened when they were in that little state. And so when they're older, that picture comes up to their head. Even though it is,
Like, an example is I like broke down one day and I like had like a little bit of like sob fest for myself and I was like looking at her and she was just chowing down like, on her belly stick. Okay, what is your deal?
that she's a yellow lab.
She's
No,
even-
okay, okay, the reason, okay, this is so great.
When there's food, when you're talking
Yeah.
about
I don't care about you. Actually, I'm gonna share with you, this might help you in that, I'm gonna share with you the story of my Emmy. So Emmy was with, my heart dog. So she had to deal with this me like, I love you more than anything in the world every day, and Emmy's like, I don't do anything wrong. I don't have anxiety. I flew them both to Maui when I moved over there, and the wine was like, oh God, we're gonna die. And Emmy's like, she comes out, what up? Let's go. Like she did not care, right?
Yeah.
What was my lesson with Emmy? Emmy was like, you need to chill out. This is not that bad. Please just look at me and be happy. Look, we're happy. It's not a problem. That's your lesson with that dog.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I don't remember what I was praying about. I
Yeah.
wanted.
There you go. So,
She helped.
all right.
Thank you.
Okay, and next, we have my friend Cristan, who is one of my Young Living Essential Oil friends, and she got to go to the animal conference last year. So the deal was, if you go to the animal conference, you have to come and share. So she's gonna share some ways to help your dog's longevity.
So, are you guys all young living people?
Nope.
Okay.
Sort of, maybe.
I brought a couple things, and I love what you had to say about your dog is your mirror. 100,000%. Every time I've got some kind of behavioral something going on with my dog, I even have asked vets about it, and I'm like, well, what's going on with you? You know, or I'll go to our holistic vet, and she's like, it's, you know, X, Y, Z. And I'm like, damn it. I'm doing it. I'm totally doing it. So,
And just to point out to all y'all, we're trainers. Like we know,
yeah.
but it's the internal, yeah.
It's really hard to explain to others, though, that, you know, you've got these behavioral issues going on, and like, okay, well, what are you doing at home to cause it? I mean, how do you say that to somebody? I'm
Yeah.
sorry, but what are you doing at home? You're causing this. 100%.
Yeah.
But one of the things that we talked about at the oil conference was, and of course, because you guys are all people and you understand all this stuff, you'll read a lot of information about essential oils, and vets or doctors or whoever you talk to will say, oh my God, don't ever give your pets, don't have essential oils around them, don't do that because they're poison. You're gonna poison your dog, or you're gonna poison your cat. The kind of oils that they're talking about are ones that you would buy at Sprouts or at Target or something. They're not essential oils. They're not real essential oils. They are, and correct me if I'm wrong, Carol, from what I heard, because there's no FDA or anything that regulates essential oils, they actually only have to have 1% of a plant in them to be sold and said as essential oil. So the rest of the stuff is synthetic. We had our Charlie, our cute Charlie. He was a golden. We got some natural flea medicine for him. This was, probably almost 10 years ago, probably, I would say. And I mean, I was just getting into Young Living. I didn't know any better. I just read, oh cool, this is, natural flea prevention. It was by a doctor, pretty well-known doctor. We trusted it, and we put it all over him. It had what they called wintergreen oil in it, that was supposed to prevent any kind of fleas and ticks and everything. Within a day or two, he was like covered in hot spots.
Oh.
His hair was falling out. He lost probably about 80% of his hair.
Wow.
Hot spots, open sores all over his entire body because we didn't know. We just opened, put it. Anyways, kind of long story. We ended up suing the company and we won. But that just kind of goes to show you, don't trust these other companies. I'm really not trying to sell you on Young Living, except I am, because they're the only oils that I would ever, use on my dog or around or on myself. So with that said, there are, things, I always want to make sure that an animal, if you've got diffusers going, you've got, oils on yourself, an animal has somewhere in the house to escape to if it's too strong for them, because their sense of smell is very, very strong. We know this. They have a higher sense of smell than we do. So the first one that I want to talk about, because I use it on my dog all the time and myself, is Valor. And I don't know if you guys all know it, but it's my absolute favorite because we all have nerves and we all are nervous. And, of course, I have the nervous dog because I also, am nervous. But I tell you what, this stuff is magic. It is absolute magic. I put it on him. I put it on myself. I brought him with me one day. This was the first time I had used it on him. And this was, probably, he's 7 now. This was probably, I would say, 6 years ago or so. I brought him with me somewhere, and we were in somebody's house, and there was a big, loud washer and dryer going, and he just froze. He was not having it. And she's like, hold on. She went over and got the Valor and dumped it on him, and literally within seconds, he just walked past it like no big deal. Okay, this is cool. So these are ones, and if you know anything about Valor, is there anybody in here that doesn't know anything about Valor?
I actually don't.
Valor, I'm gonna pass this around because it's one of my favorite. It's just an
It's in
absolute
the diffuser
amazing.
there.
I love it so much.
I have it in my cart.
There's a roller of it as well. Feel free to use some if you want, but it's one of the favorite oils for myself, my dog. It's supposed to just give kind of it's a confidence booster. It's supposed to just kind of give you a sense of calm.
We call it chiropractor in a bottle.
Yeah.
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 It's a veterinarian.
Yeah, so-
And a piece of calming.
Yes.
Those ones that I use.
Those are two. It's funny because that Peace and Calming and Valor are the two that I use
And
on him probably the
Eves.
most.
And eaves.
Yeah, and it's
And there are some oils that are very toxic for cats. You just have
Yes.
to be aware.
yeah, and
Yeah,
I
dog
don't
are-
I don't have cats. I don't know as much about them. I do know that there are some, that you just shouldn't use around them. But I mean, they were doing, if you guys are all familiar with the raindrop, they were doing raindrop on dogs. They were doing raindrop on horses.
So
This
talk
was-
as if they don't know about it.
Okay, raindrop is a technique with how many different oils? Is it 10 oils, I believe? That just, I can't even say enough about it. It basically is yes, it's chiropractor, realigns your, realigns everything. It helps boost your immune system if you're, feeling under the weather. It helps with any kind of inflammation, illness, things like that. It's an amazing technique that Gary Young developed, I don't know how many millions of years ago, but when he was around. It's wonderful. I have not done it on a dog, but it was really amazing to watch. And they were just using the oils neat, without meaning no carrier oil on them. Some of the oils that we have, the AnimalScents oils, which I do have with me, do have a carrier with them. And so they're just kind of naturally, less strong on that. But, yeah, do you guys have any questions at all? I'm kind of running through all the things. They're amazing. That's probably my favorite one.
This week specifically, like, I forgot that I had that. I don't know, and I was like, what feels good? And I've been literally, like, diffusing it, like, 24/7 in my house, like, and my younger dog has been, like, blitzed out on the couch, and I just didn't put back in. He's, like, on his back right now, just, like, totally freezing.
So I would recommend that you, kind of rub it all over yourself before you go out looking for the guy who's got.
Really good idea.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
So, like, put it on at 8:30 when I sleep into it.
Yeah.
Oh, like, can I squint? Like,
I mean, sure.
When you want to put it here.
Yes. Shane, put it behind your ears.
Yes.
And on your wrist.
Okay.
And then when you skin.
Uh-huh.
I'm telling you, that's what I tell my clients, so it's very helpful.
I'll kind of just like,
Not
if
my
I'm in a
dog.
hurry, I take Valor and just go like this really fast, and just, it's on my chest, and then I'm like, okay, I'm ready to go. I personally, this is weird, but I personally put oils on my dog's hind end, just because it's further away from his nose. And my dog is kind of a diva, and he will kind of go crazy and bury his nose, and I asked about that when we were there. She said it's you can see he's kind of digging like this. She said it's 100%. It's like them just kind of expressing some of their energy that's been pent up inside of their bodies. She said there's nothing wrong with it. It's good. But I do know one of the things too along with that is if you have an oil on and your dog is leaving, it's probably not the oil that they need. If they're coming towards you, probably when you have them in the diffuser, then that's probably the ones that they need. So,
I have another suggestion on how you can put it on. I know you from Pet Power Studio, so you'll know what these are. It's a collar that I have on my dog, but it's a collar made by dogwood. It's called dogwood.
okay.
And they're little wooden balls. It's a super cool collar. They're super cool. But you can put the essential oil on
Yeah.
the wood, and then it's diffusing.
Oh, that's really neat.
It's
That's
super
neat.
cool.
The ones they have at Pet Power? I didn't think of that.
Yeah,
That's
that's
cool.
how she originally made those. So, yeah, my dog's had it on for, same collar for 3 years now.
I love it. I'll have to get one of those.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, there's so many different ones, but I think, starting with ourselves first is kind of where I always start, and just making sure that you're feeling, comfortable, confident. There are a bunch of different oils, and I do have an AnimalScents book if you guys are interested in looking at it, for illnesses, injuries, stuff like that. But they do make, and I'll kind of pass these around. This one is called Pure Clean, and this one would be along the lines of my dog got an injury, and I want to clean it out. I want to sanitize it and clean it out. There's a few of them. Mendwell would kind of go along with that one as well.
I have heard that,
Oh, it's a small one.
I know the cats have
heard that one.
I don't know
I'm
if
gonna
it's
say
true or not,
probably
I heard
not.
a lot.
I'm gonna say probably not because the Pure Clean has tea tree in it, so no.
It's just it's a really hot. So I normally don't recommend any meat on anyone unless you know that they're super sensitive, but all of my cases are the most super sensitive because their owners are the most super sensitive.
Yes.
And they spend thousands of dollars on every other vet before they get to me.
Yeah.
So I prefer to start with 15 to 30 drops of any oil in a carrier and then rub it on the ears. I just think it's a lot and they can't run away from it, especially if you put it on a collar.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I would always test it. If you're gonna put it on a collar and make sure that they're having an affinity and they're not trying to run away.
Yeah, we,
Yeah,
when we were doing the raindrop on the dogs, they were just dropping them on meat. However, she did say you can kind of see, it's almost like they get the chills sort of, and you can kind of see them start to get like uneasy feeling. And she said then you want to put some the carrier oil on. I do carrier with mine, not with Valor and Peace and Calming because I know that he can take them. But if I need to do, let's say probably any of these kind of stronger ones, Paragize, if he's got a little tummy upset or something. Paragize, if you don't know, is like Digize. Are you guys familiar with that one? So Digize is amazing for stomach discomfort. It's one of my absolute favorite oils. It's great. I could kind of go on about that one, but I won't. But Paragize is really good for that one too, for dogs. This is probably kind of funny, but if my dog gets really gassy, he's eaten something, I'll get that Paragize out and rub it on his tummy, and I'm telling you, in like seconds, it's gone. Yeah, it's just, or if he's kind of like, you can tell he's like gonna throw up, or you know, any kind of tummy upset. And I do put a carrier, even though there is a carrier with it already. So a carrier oil is gonna be any kind of fatty oil that you can add to the essential oil.
To dilute it.
Yeah, just to dilute it. So you never want to use oil, and I'm glad you asked that because that was one of the things that we did with my Golden that we didn't know when we put the essential oil stuff on him is we washed it with water, which actually water makes it disperse. It makes it go out further. And so with any kind of essential oil, you want to add, if you need to dilute it, at all, you want to use an oil, a fatty oil. So you can use avocado, coconut, or V6. We have one that we have. So this one is TOA. Let me tell you about TOA because
It's good for
My-
humans.
yes, it is.
Humans.
TOA. So this is like, I laugh because we use it on my dog all the time. Because he's kind of crazy, He is almost 8. He'll be 8 in July. He has lots of energy. He's a boxer mix. But if he is just kind of getting the zoomies, if he's just being kind of crazy, or if we have guests come over, which he is obsessed with people, we'll put that on him, and it just is really calming. So along with that, Valor is wonderful for that one. The Peace and the TOA is amazing. Absolutely
It's called TOA because
TOA.
it's trauma
Yeah.
away. So that's why it's good for
Yeah.
people too. But any kind of trauma, you put it on their T-zone, so like down their spine, across their shoulders, and it can help release any kind of trauma.
Or maybe good for the dog walk.
Yeah, it might be good for
Yes.
Shane.
Yes.
Trauma pattern.
Some of these ones, I'm not personally crazy about the smell of them, but we don't use these ones for the smell. We use them because they work.
Yes.
Yes.
I think that's a really great way to think about it, using because they work, but also to even, like, if you go back to the idea of breaking the habit of being yourself, is that you have this ritual that you do. Asking for a friend has disappeared, but wherever your friend is, for her, like, even doing that, putting it on the tea or doing the things, and then literally concentrating on that. Like, that is I'm getting my energy from that. That is actually here to heal me. I feel better. You can really bring yourself down and be in another space that's gonna spill out all over around you.
Setting your intention
Yeah.
would be they say when you're putting on oils is set the intention. We were talking about you.
Your friend.
Oh, yes, your friend.
Yeah.
Your friend.
What should I tell her?
So putting on the oils. This is the other, is that the TOA?
Okay, yeah.
So that's another one that you could try, your friend could try. And we were just kind of mentioning, when you put on oils, and I forget to mention these things because I've been using them for so long, and I never talk to people about them. I should. Setting your intention is really, it's important to do that. And what are you using this for? What's your point of having this oil on? So use those affirmations. Put your oil in your hand, rub your hands together. I feel, happy. I feel calm. I feel whatever. And then breathing those. So just really important to do that stuff. So, okay. Do you guys have any questions?
Can I talk about the AnimalScents
Oh
ointment?
yes, the book.
And the ointment?
Oh
And
yeah.
then the conference too.
Oh yes. So this ointment, it's magic. I'm telling you, I use it probably more than I do on my dog. This would be, you could use this on their paws, on their nose, those dry paws. So it's an AnimalScents ointment. I'll pass it around.
What is it do?
It's like a balm.
It's like a balm. It's thick. Feel free to. Feel free to dig in. Yeah, I
Yes.
do. And let me tell you, I know this sounds really weird and odd, but I actually use it as chapstick sometimes if I don't have my chapstick. If my lips are really dry, especially if I go to Utah for the conference or anything like that, it's a drier climate there. Stuff is magic. Yeah, your elbows, your knees, your feet.
Any kind of skin issue, like, I'm not gonna say the names just because this is being recorded, but like medically, a skin issue, you could use that. And if your dog has a skin issue or a hot spot, you can put that on it. It's really good.
I like the licking, my friend's dog, I noticed, he'll continually lick his paws in the morning, but just for a while, and I don't know if it's anxiety or if it's actually truly a thing. He does have weird fur that goes through his toes.
It can be both. That can be seasonal allergies. There's 1,000 different things. There's seasonal allergies. It could be
It can be a
anxiety
food
for
allergy
sure.
too.
Yeah, food allergy.
You have a yeast infection.
That is the number one
Yeah.
anxiety behavior.
What's that?
It's the number one anxiety
It's
behavior.
anxiety, okay.
Licking and itching is the number one.
Okay.
Number one anxiety. It's I don't know why he's doing that. I'm check your safe.
Got it.
Just literally go, what are you thinking about? Oh shit, all the things I have to do today.
Okay.
How about oils for fleas, ticks, things like that? For fleas, ticks, things along those lines, are there any oils?
Oh, good.
I used to have a blend, I forgot which one it was called, but, yeah.
Do you have a suggestion for that one? Because I'm actually in the process of.
I
She's
do.
asking
Flea,
about
ticks,
fleas,
things
ticks.
along those
Yeah,
lines.
but Young Living has an insect repellent that's DEET free, so you can put it in a spray bottle. Well, no, it comes in a spray bottle now. You can dilute it for dogs.
What's it
So,
called?
Just
insect repellent.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've never used it on my dog. I've
Okay.
used it on myself though, and I have extremely sensitive skin, hence my dog being very sensitive. And it is great. It
Okay.
works very,
Yeah.
very well. I
I've
just
seen
can't
it.
handle
I've seen a video where they did a ring of
Yeah.
the insect repellent on a piece of paper, and they put a tick in the middle, and it wouldn't cross the
Wow,
insect.
Do you know if that one would be safe for cats too?
You have to look up every ingredient.
Okay. Well, cats are hard,
Cats
yeah.
are super sensitive.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
any animal can have an allergic reaction to one particular oil. So I always tell people use a small amount on one hair and give it 24 hours. Because you just don't know.
Okay.
This book, if you ever get your hands on it,
Mhm.
has a little reference guide in the very middle that will show you kind of how to dilute and what oil and if it's okay for cats and dogs, even on,
Is that all
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
can you order up Amazon or only through?
I use it as
That one's out of
Life Science around
But
anymore?
Life AnimalScents doesn't exist anymore. I don't think
Oh.
that is available. If you do find it on Amazon, it's gonna be really expensive, cause
Or
it's out of
eBay,
publication.
maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
There's only
try eBay, something like, or those.
maybe
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
I'll start
That's
I
great.
have it tabbed in the very middle of where those, with list of oils and how to dilute for dog and cat, they might have to, flip a page or two. But there's a ton of really good
Yeah.
information.
Oh, wow.
We basically go on, if you've got an ailment for your dog or cat, typically dogs, how would you treat it with yourself? And then I would go into this and just kind of look up, do I need to dilute this? Do I not need to dilute this? But I mean, it's amazing to see what things you can treat for, animals with oils.
But the whole line of AnimalScents products at Young Living, they were developed by a team of holistic vets. And so they have an advisory board that they talk to. So they have shampoo that's like super
Yes.
concentrated,
Yes.
the balm, and then a bunch of different
Yeah,
oils.
and I did not bring that, but we do use the shampoo, and I love it, absolutely love it.
I love it, it makes washing the dog fun.
I don't know if I'd go that far, my hate's the water.
Yeah. So do you know when the next animal
They
conference is
do,
gonna be?
and, they did post it on, there's a Facebook page that you can get it, they have not put the tickets for sale yet,
Mhm.
but hopefully they will, we'll see. It is in October, if I can get it to come up. So it'll be October 21st through the 24th, and it's in Mona. Can I tell you guys,
Mm.
if you've never been to Mona, Utah, make it a priority. This conference was the most phenomenal thing I have ever been to in my life. I went by myself because nobody else wanted to go with me. And I just said, you know what, I'm gonna do it, I'm just gonna go. I got a hotel, I just rented a car. I have family in Utah, but not in this area. So I went out and, oh my gosh, it was magic. It was absolute magic. I thought this was really cute. They have cats that they have on the farm now, that they have that help with the crops and stuff like that and getting rid of all the vermin and everything. But they were just stray cats that were out and people were complaining about them, and so they brought them all to Young Living and made a barn, and just now they have a bunch of barn cats around. They were cute. They were really cute. But this is at the big farm out there. They have their horses, and it was just great. They cooked for us. They had lunch. They had one VIP dinner, which I would suggest because that was probably one of the best dinners I've had in my life. And just amazing people. It was just absolutely amazing people. I met several people who are now like my long lost sisters, and it was just so cool. It was definitely an amazing experience.
classes that have in a day or?
Yeah, there were.
If anyone wants that book, it's on, 50 books for $12.60.
Oh yeah, I get it. If you see it, get it.
Can I
It's
take a
like-
picture of the cover?
Pulling out our phones.
I know.
Available.
I know.
It's $12.69.
What's it on Thrifty what?
Thrifty books.
Thrift books?
I have to actually look at the cover again.
Yeah.
I didn't take a
And
picture.
the other ones are typically more expensive, but that guy's $12 on there.
Yeah.
That's a good find.
And yeah, they had classes, so the way that it worked was we met in the morning with everybody, the whole group. It was a very small group. If any of you have been to a convention before or seen, photos or videos of convention, it's definitely nothing like that. It was a lot smaller. There were, I think, roughly about 80 people at the whole conference. They do want more people this year, and we're hoping to get more. It was so amazing. It was amazing. I know, absolutely go. They had a bunch of different speakers. We broke out into 2 groups, and we'd have some of them here and some of them here, and then the next day we swapped, so you have a chance to do all of the different ones. There were some, raindrop, like I mentioned, on dogs, and then one on horses. There was some just kind of holistic vet that was there. There were some like spiritual things with dogs. It was a lot of great information. So yeah, definitely suggest going.